In this episode of One Piece, Nami is broken. She's lost absolutely everything. These last 8 years that she's been working towards making this 100 million berries in order to buy her village back off this tyrant that killed her mother is gone in the blink of an eye, all because he decided not to keep his promise. And we knew really from the beginning he wouldn't, but the way he's gone about it is so sneaky and so crafty, it just makes you hate the guy even more. As we know, Arlong has been working with some corrupt members of the Marines, and he sent them to collect the money that Nami's been hiding for a deal where they get 30% of what they find, the 100 million berries that Nami's been working towards with blood, sweat, and tears. Literally, when they find this money that's buried in Bellemere's tangerine orchard, there's blood all over the money from all the battles and all the scars and everything that Nami's had to go through, stealing this from pirates and working herself basically to death over the last 8 years. They found it and they've stolen it, and all of Nami's hopes are gone just like that. From the very person she was supposed to be giving this money to, the person that she made this deal with has taken it all away, and he never ever was going to hold up his end of the bargain. And this is only the beginning of what breaks Nami in this episode. As she goes to charge the colonel that has taken the money from her, Nojiko steps in the way, and this colonel shoots her in the back of the shoulder. She doesn't kill her or anything, but again, that's just another, literally just another kick in the teeth for Nami. Everything is just going wrong all at once. Gen also reveals to her the fact that him and the whole village has known about this deal the whole time, the thing with Arlong, but they pretended not to know in case Nami ever did want to stop doing this and, free herself. He felt like if the village had hope and she knew about that, she wouldn't let herself go. It was a way of sort of protecting her in a way. So they pretended they didn't know so that she would, if she ever did want to leave, she could, behind their backs pretty much. But yeah, it goes to show the village obviously cares so much about her, and so does Gen. And of course, when Nami finds out about all this, she charges straight towards Arlong and confronts him. And all he says to her is, "When did I break my end of the promise?" Because technically he didn't. She hasn't presented him with 100 million berries. It's been taken from her by the government, but obviously it was ordered from him. So over a technicality, he hasn't broken his promise, but he is the biggest piece of shit alive. And to top it all off, he says to her, "If you run away, I'll kill everybody in Kokoyashi village." So once again, she's stuck. She has to get that 100 million berries again. At least that's what she thinks. And she just can't escape. She's never, ever going to be free from this guy. And it's awful. After Arlong says this to her, Nami returns to the village with a fake smile on her face saying, "It's okay. I'm going to do it again. It's going to be easier this time." Clearly, she's distressed. She's had everything taken away from her. And all Gen does is give her a hug and say she needs to stop now. And they're going to take this burden away from her. She can leave the village and leave it to them. Because these last 8 years, she's been fighting for the village. And all they've done is, sit back and try to protect her as much as they can. But now is her time to stop. There's no point anymore because Arlong clearly can't be reasoned with. So he makes an uprising to try to attack Arlong, but Nami knows it's futile. They're going to get killed potentially, and all this work she's done to save her village is literally just in the blink of an eye. It's gone like that. And after this follows one of the most devastating scenes I think I've ever seen in an anime. In absolute agony, Nami falls to her knees on the floor, and she grabs her knife and she starts trying to stab out the tattoo she has for Arlong because she's, it's pointless now. After all her work, all her hardships, it's all gone to dust, essentially. And Luffy comes and tries to comfort her, basically, and just, ask her what's going on, see what's happening. And she's telling him to leave, screaming at him, leave, in the most, gut-wrenching voice ever. She is completely broken. But eventually she stops and she's quiet and she turns with tears in her eyes and says, "Help me." And, bro, it hit so fucking hard. All this time she's been fighting on her own, refusing anybody's help because she doesn't want anyone else to get hurt. She doesn't want what happened to Bellemere to happen to anybody else, any of her other friends. She's refused help from everybody for so long, essentially her whole life. And now it's got to the point where she's so desperate and she's so broken and everything's gone so wrong, she has to ask Luffy for help. And yeah, when that happens, literally my heart sunk like that. It's like I said, there's no other word but devastating. But of course, our boy Luffy comes through and he says, "Of course I fucking will." He shouts it to the sky, and he actually gives Nami his straw hat, his treasure, and that's, to me, that's his way of saying, you know, I've got this. This is how confident I am. I'm going to do this for you. You hold on to my treasure. I'm going to go sort this out for you, because we know how much that straw hat means to Luffy. So the fact he's given it to Nami, I think, is a way of him sort of like comforting her in his own sort of way, and being like, I'm going to go sort this, and then I'm coming back for my hat. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's sort of Luffy's way of finally taking the burden off of Nami and putting it onto himself, just like the villagers are doing by, trying to charge Arlong, but, they probably don't stand as much of a chance as a Luffy. But the last scene in this episode gave me goosebumps, where you have, Nami, Zoro, Usopp, and Luffy heading straight towards Arlong. And it's just such a cool moment. And Luffy punches through the wall of Arlong Park, and all he says is, "Which one of you are Arlong?" And I cannot wait for this confrontation to happen. I cannot wait for Arlong to get the absolute shit kicked out of him, bro. Like, I'm waiting for this. I hope Luffy absolutely demolishes this dude in the most devastating, brutal fashion possible, because this guy is fucking dreadful. But the stakes have genuinely never been higher. Like, if Luffy and everyone loses this, that's it. The Kokoyashi village is done. The East Blue is finished. Everything Nami's been working towards is basically null and void. It didn't mean anything. Just everything comes down to this moment, and bro, just thinking about it is making my heart race, like, straight up. Like, so yeah, let's see what happens. But Luffy versus Arlong is coming up. Let's fucking do it. But yeah, this episode was literally is an absolute masterclass in storytelling, and yeah, devastating.